Welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review Part 14A. This one I'm viewing episodes 156 to 172. Yeah, we're pretty much just about halfway through the Skypiea arc. Yeah, this is the Skypiea stuff. Yes, there is roughly, because finishing the 172, there's exactly 23 episodes left to go for the entire arc, which is kind of simple what happened with Alabasta. What happens in these episodes? Well, pretty much like everyone's accused of being criminals, so they have to basically be offered to be sacrificed. Yep, so Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp stay behind to get some updates. Usopp informs Konis's father that he's the crew sniper. Of course, Luffy was making some other food, brings some spices, and then all of a sudden, while everybody's being drawn around, while Konis Grumpy, she basically turns her head, and then two claws pop up and take the Going Merry with Nami, Zoro, Robin, and Chopper off to a sacrificial altar. Yep. And then Konis basically takes them, because they've been taken to the upper yard to be sacrificed. So she takes Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp to basically take a boat to the upper yard. And she confesses that she was one who called for the express crab. Now, Luffy is not mad at her for doing this. She basically was under, let's just say, Sanji probably thinks that she was probably being blackmailed to do this. Either that or she'd be killed. And then all of a sudden, a lightning bolt pops down. Yep, a lightning bolt. And luckily enough, Luffy and Konis were saved by Gunfall. Yep. Luffy is left with Sanji and Usopp. Konis is taken along with her father to Gunfall's house. It's someplace on a different island. So they take her boat, the Crow, and they go upriver. And it's a pretty interesting basic thing, seeing this in the anime. Them just plowing through the river, eating some food, just relaxing. Usually first, and all three of these guys take turns driving this particular boat. First, it's Luffy. Yes, he drives this boat. Then it's Sanji. Usopp drives it briefly. And they come across, we meet up with the four priests. Satori, who was a ball priest. Yes, there's actually a few others. One was Orem. He is the second one. There's also the Sky Punk. Yeah, he's a guy with this weird looking hair. He also has a strange habit of biting his lip, mumbling, and having his eyes go back of his head. And there's also another swordsman. Now, they picked the spear one because even though spear is actually just balls. Yeah, why in the world they change? Even though it's translated what Satori's his trial is, even though it translates to balls, they say spears, which to me makes no freaking sense at all. There's also a string one, which also that's the guy who basically looks like he's an airplane pilot. Yep, so they go to the spear one, and they spend several episodes this one, and it takes them a while to finally beat Satori. Yeah, and of course he has a challenge: beat him and get on the boat before they exit this area. Of course, briefly before this, we see all four priests together for one brief scene. They're seen together a little bit later after Satori's defeat. Excuse me. It takes 4 episodes for Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp to defeat him because of his surprise balls, which some full of snakes and a lot of them explode. Yep, and they're beaten by sheer luck when discovered that his dragon surprise is held by freaking rope. Luffy cuts, it gets pulled, and of course it looked like it was going to explode, but look how Luffy caught on to him, times and basically wrapped himself around Satori long enough for Sanji to kick him into oblivion, also breaking the man's teeth, implying that he killed him. Because it's mentioned that later that they killed him. Clearly the guy is unconscious. He's been beaten, but he hasn't been killed. And then they catch up their boat and they go off to find the Going Merry. Now, the Going Merry stays on top of the sacrificial altar for almost 10 episodes. Yep, it does. And Robin does looks around, looks like the sacrificial altar has been there for a long time. And by the way, this altar will be seen in a flashback show a little bit later after this. So, they have Robin, Zoro, and Nami go off exploring, leaving Chopper on the ship, leading to the swordsman showing up. Yeah, the guy who looks like the guy who has a javelin, flies on a bird, who's pretty much a pilot. He takes on Chopper. He says the only reason why he's here because Zoro, Nami, and Robin decided to leave. And he basically ends up nearly torching his ship, burns some ass, so Chopper has to throw in the water, and then he pulls the whistle, and then Gunfall shows up. Gunfall, what he's doing, he's just taking care of Conus and her father, staying in his place, waters flowers, and he hears the whistle, and goes and fights him. Oh yeah, and also the sacrificial altar is surrounded by sky sharks. Yep, sky sharks, and it's basically cloud ocean. It's first the White Sea. They're from the Blue Sea. Okay, that makes sense. And Gonfall takes him on. It was a pretty good battle for a while, and he gets a good blow on him. And then he loses. Yes, Gonfall loses. But lucky enough, they're saved by somebody. Yeah, basically Chopper, Gonfall, and Pierre are saved by giant Southbirds. Yep, Southbirds. Yeah, apparently they spent 400 years growing up here. The goal is so freaking big. As in the case of Nami, Zoro, and Robin, they find out that the island itself used to be part of the land. Yep. When Nami discovers the other half of Cricket's house. Yep, they found the other half, which means how the thing got here is explained that the knockup stream basically caused it to get here. Now, the story behind this, basically what happened just prior to, that's not explained here. That's actually explained a little bit later. And then they go back, and despite the fact the ship being damaged, and despite the fact Chopper's ordered to fix it, well, everything's fine, and, well, they decide to camp out, though they have a brief fight with a bunch of wolves, so they decide to stay along anyways, have a campfire. Usopp, of course. Now, everybody gets it, no problem, everyone's all perfectly fine. Also, Sanji, before they leave, Sanji gets upset now by putting on a shirt because first portion that she basically was wearing a bikini top, which, by the way, that would actually be her normal attire pretty much for the time skip. I would say it's like this from the start of time skip with Return to Sabaody. I think up until she gets to dress Rosa that she dresses this way, where she's wearing the bikini top. Because that's how she dresses. Yep. And while Usopp basically wants to go fix it at night, like while everybody's asleep, he sees that somebody's fixing the ship. This mysterious person. What this person is, believe it or not, it's actually not explained of what the heck this is until the arc Water 7. Yeah. Believe it or not, that arc actually explains what the heck this thing is, and it's a new character that makes his debut in the arc. Actually explains what this thing is. Yeah, it's a strange white creature who apparently decided to restore the ship the way it was, like without the wings. Now, thing is, nobody in Skypiea probably knows what the heck the Going Merry looked like prior to come up there. Like the wings are removed, and the sheep's head basically removes the chicken that was in front of it. And the mask is back, and it's covered with lots of metal. I'm wondering where the heck they get this metal from to fix the ship. It could be just leftover supplies that Usopp probably had stored on board the ship. It's possible. So they get the Going Merry out by using a sky shark. First, they try to use Usopp's rope pulley thing, which made his debut prior to this. Yeah, it doesn't work because try to pull on the boat, that doesn't work. Like, okay, use a sky shark, and it works. and the ship is off. Now, and the team is split. The crew is split into two. One team basically comprised of Luffy, Robin, Chopper, and Zoro go and find the gold. Basically, go to the Golden City, and they go walking across the island. The other half, which basically is Sanji, Usopp, and Nami, with Gonfall and Pierre, stay on the ship. And along the way, we also see the Shandorians. Yep, and one of whom is actually voiced by the very actors who voices Bo Hancock. Yeah, this is Loki. Also, Carmeline's in this arc too. Yes, the actress known for voicing Lucy from Fairy Tail is in this arc. And she's not the only Fairy Tail person in this particular arc. Todd Heppercord is here too, voicing one of the Divine Warriors. Yep, but before everybody sets out, we have the debut of Enru. Yep, we have the three other priests. Meet with Enru. Enru is actually the lightning bolts popping around. In case you wonder about Enru's appearance, a tall man who has long earlobes with earrings in him. He has this drum set strapped to his back. He wears baggy pants. He basically has no shirt and no shoes. And he is supposedly the god. Also, Gonfall was previously god as well. Yep. That was hinted at from Conus when she mentioned that Gonfall used to be god. And it's out, but it's confirmed that he was definitely god. Yeah, it's explained that 6 years prior to the events of Skypiea, he was god. Until Enru overthrew him, basically to show up. They don't actually show that yet, but that's what he mentions. They also have a brief flashback of me with the Shandorian warriors. And apparently the lead warrior, I kid you not, this is his name. His name is Wiper. Now, when I think of a wiper, I think of a windshield wiper. You know, thing used to wipe off windows. Yeah, not a very intimidating warrior name. It's like Oda basically just picked a car part to name one of his warriors. He's a cool warrior. Riding on skates, carrying a bazooka. He stopped wearing his mask that he wore at the start of it. Yeah, I'm not really sure what was the whole purpose of that. Like, wearing a gorilla mask and just, well, not a gorilla mask, basically like a child mask, and then later on not wearing it. Yeah. Also, apparently the Shandorians live in teepees. Yeah, I have no idea why they live in teepees for. Maybe they're based upon Native Americans. I don't really know. It's particularly very weird. Also, it's revealed that Eris, I think her name is, the little girl, who I think is Loki's daughter. Loki, I think that's her name, I think her daughter. And she apparently, now there's a thing called Matara. Satsure's first one to use this. This is later retconned, believe it or not, to be a form of hockey. Yep, this is a form of hockey. Satori and this little girl are the first two people confirmed, along with the other priest, are the first few people confirmed to actually have this. Heck, even Enru's got it too. Yeah, this is the arc that makes his debut. As far as Matra, it's just a form of hockey. That's what this thing is. And apparently it takes years of training in order to obtain this. It's sort of a sixth sense, and it basically allows people to hear voices, hear inner body voices. Basically, it's a way to allow the person who has it to understand what move is coming, and they're able to dodge it. That's simply the explanation of what this move is. And while basically Gonfall, and meanwhile on the Going Merry, Enru pops up on the ship. Yep, Enru shows up, which makes him the first major villain in the franchise to appear on the ship. He won't be the only one doing this, by the way. The next person to officially do this, I think, is actually Foxy himself, who shows up in Long, Long Road, which is actually the next arc, not directly after this one, the one after that. Yeah, he did it. Doflamingo did in Dressrosa. And this is like during the course of an arc where they go on the main ship. Let's see. Aside from these few people, Crocodile surprisingly never actually went on the Going Merry. He never even seen it. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Like, why would he go on there? And I think Buggy himself has seen the Going Merry, but he's never went on it. Yeah. Also, the Shandorian Warriors beat the Swordsman guy. Well, Wiper beats him by using a reject dial in like one episode. Yeah, it's this very damaging dial that does damage to the body. He'll use maybe 3 times when his armor is destroyed. And the first time he uses it, he uses it to kill the priest. Which means 2 down, 2 to go. And then the Wiper comes across Luffy. When they're separated after being chased off by a freaking snake. Now, what about the other 3? Chopper is confronted by one of the other priests, the Skypunk, which over the course of 2 episodes battles him and then beats him by sheer luck, by beating him with his own move. Oh yeah, and also one of the Divine Warriors, one of the people in the army of Enru, is defeated by, well, who's with him? He gets basically defeated by Enru. One of the warriors, the first one, that one of the Shandorians face off. Yeah, this guy, I listen to his voice like, wait, is that Todd Heppercorn? Yes, Todd Heppercorn voicing another character in One Piece. I mean, aside from Kors, this is probably the only other character I can think of he's voiced in this series. Now, Kors himself is going to make a reappearance several times. I think his most recent appearance was actually, I believe, in Punk Hazard. I think his most recent appearance to date when it comes to this particular character. Now, I'm surprised Heppercorn was cast to play this one-off character. Yeah, it's kind of weird that Heppercorn was cast to do this. And after Enru leaves to Going Merry, then Satoru's brothers show up, Hitori and Chidori. And they try to start their fight with Nami and Gonfall. Also, Enru decided to shock both Sanji and Usopp. Yep. And what about Luffy? Luffy fights Wiper for a good period of time. As a matter of fact, at the time, basically, of 172, he's still fighting him. Zoro fights one of the other warriors. Robin fights the leader of the army of the Divine Warriors, who ends up damaging the ruin area that she was investigating, which she gets very angry with him over it. But those 4 battles are not concluded here. So, by the end of these particular episodes, 2 of the 4 priests have been defeated. And, also, Iris basically goes out to the upper yard, but her bow is attacked by a sky. She's lucky enough she's saved by Conan and her father, who just happened to be going to the upper yard just by sheer coincidence. It is big, and it is basically a very loud boat that has like a bugle call, which I thought that was kind of interesting. And that's where we leave off. It's a really good set of episodes, and I can't wait to discuss the rest of this particular arc, which gets so exciting. Also, Edward says this is the start of a survival game. Yeah, he did this pretty much in his debut episode, which I think was like episode 166. That was 67. That was his debut episode. So by 672, you only made his episode appearance like 6 episodes back. Basically, he's appeared for 7 episodes. And when I get to the final arc, I'll discuss what the heck happened to him. Yep. Yeah, but that's particularly if this particular view. My next view is a Comic Corner, and then Fire Force. Okay, but this next video.